Darling listeners, brace yourselves, because what I'm about to say is going to make some crown polishers and palace defenders very uncomfortable. Every time the royals try to bury the truth, Meghan Markle rises higher. Every time they recycle another crusty old quote, another dusty ghost from the palace past, another "a friend told a friend who told a butler." All they do is expose the same thing. They never wanted Meghan to survive them. And that's exactly why she did. Today's episode? Oh, it's not a tea spill. It's a scalding hot volcanic eruption. We're ripping open the palace curtains. We're dragging out the outdated beliefs. We're calling out the bigotry behind the smiles. We're burning down the recycled lies they keep spraying like cheap perfume. Because if Prince Philip really said one steps out with actresses, one doesn't marry them, then, honey, let's talk about the actresses and mistresses that the royals have stepped out with. Hid, funded, protected and promoted for decades. Oh yes, today's conversation is not for the weak, not for the royalists, not for the faint-hearted. It's for the people who know that Meghan Markle didn't disrupt the monarchy. She exposed it. So sit back, take a deep breath, and hold on to your wigs, your tiaras, your lace fronts, and your pearls. Because Adrian is about to take you straight into the royal truth they hoped you'd never hear. So, apparently, Prince Philip once said, "One steps out with actresses, one doesn't marry them." Oh, really? Because last time I checked, the monarchy was built on a long history of mistresses, scandals, affairs, divorces, and more actresses than the BAFTA's red carpet. But now it's a problem. Now it's an issue because Meghan is a woman, an American, an actress, and above all, a black woman. Let's not pretend this is about acting. Let's not pretend this is about protocol. This was about prejudice, honey. Raw, naked, unpolished prejudice. But here's my favourite part. These same royal commentators who repeat this "Philip hated Meghan on sight" storyline want to also tell us Meghan was welcomed with open arms. She had every support. She was embraced. Excuse me, from he hated her on sight to she was welcomed? Which is it? Pick a lie and stick to it. Why such a strong reaction to Meghan? The reasons go deeper than tradition. The criticism was rooted in prejudice and fear. Fear of change, of losing control, of the unknown. Meghan represented a world where worth is defined by character, not bloodline. The monarchy is built on controlling the narrative, but Meghan had her own. She was a humanitarian, a speaker, a woman with opinions. The expectation was that she'd trade her voice for a title. When she refused, the system panicked. What it can't control, it tries to destroy. The British press's coverage of Meghan was laced with racial undertones. Her heritage was treated as a novelty or a problem. This reflected a deeper anxiety within the establishment. Meghan's presence tested the institution's claim to modernity, and many say it failed. The attacks on Meghan were about protecting an old world from the new, the desperate roar of an empire facing the sunset. We remember the images, the wedding, the smiles, the crowds. The world was told a love story, a modern fairy tale. We were led to believe Meghan was welcomed, embraced, a sign of a new monarchy. But behind the castle walls, the welcome was conditional. It lasted only if she played by unwritten rules, kept her head down, didn't outshine others. The reality was isolation, lack of support, and facing a hostile press alone. The public warmth wasn't matched inside the palace. Imagine the pressure new country, famous family, ancient traditions, relentless media. Stories of her reaching out for help, only to be told nothing could be done, are heartbreaking. The palace acted more like a corporation than a family. The contrast between public image and private reality is the great lie at the heart of this story. The fairy tale was just that, a story. The institution wanted Meghan's image, but not real change. The welcome was wide, but not deep. A smile without warmth. This was not Meghan's failure. It was the institution's failure to live up to its own publicity. The ornate door opened into an empty room. Under immense pressure, many would have broken or conformed. But Meghan's spirit was unbreakable. She knew who she was before she became a duchess. That inner strength became her shield. When the institution demanded silence, she held on to her voice. When the press tried to define her, she defined herself. Her independence clashed with royal expectations. The monarchy thrives on dependency, but Meghan had her own life and causes. She saw her new role as an extension, not an end, of her identity. Her ambition was viewed with suspicion, her work ethic misunderstood. Early emails, new ideas, these were seen as difficult. In reality, it was the spirit of a modern woman. The system crashed trying to contain her. Her resilience was remarkable. She absorbed every negative headline and kept moving. She leaned on Harry, but her own fortitude was the bedrock. She did not disappear. She carried out her duties with grace. This was not defeat, but the behavior of someone who knew her worth. An unbreakable spirit the institution could not comprehend. At the heart of this storm stood Prince Harry. He faced an impossible choice: the family he was born into, or the one he chose to create. He chose his wife, his son, and their future over the gilded cage. The palace underestimated Harry's resolve and the strength of his bond with Meghan. Their strength as a family became their greatest statement. What does this story teach us? Outdated institutions cannot break those who stand for truth and love. Meghan and Harry weathered a storm that would have destroyed many and emerged renewed. They found new purpose, new freedom, and a new way to serve. They launched their own foundation, produced inspiring work, and spoke their truth. They proved there is life beyond the palace walls. Their value was never tied to titles, it was always within them. This is hope for anyone who's ever felt like an outsider or challenged an unfair system. Your voice and truth matter. Don't let old ways diminish your light. Courage is feeling fear and doing the right thing anyway. It's standing up for what you believe, even when your voice shakes. It's choosing love, even when it's hard. Let the old world cling to its lies. The future is built on courage and authenticity. The story of Harry and Meghan isn't the end of a fairy tale, but the beginning of a new, honest one. The dawn always follows the storm, and those who stand for something better will find their way.